guys, Kevin here from Relax and Learn Guitar. Welcome back to another live lesson, live Q&A. Just going to make sure that everything's working. Because we all love technology when it works. Let's scroll down here. Yes. Looks like we are live. And we got a little counter to it so we can see like how far into it we are. And as folks show up, hopefully you can say hello. If you want to say hello, let us know where you're from. Then that way we can keep track of that. If you want to share that, you don't have to. So I'm Kevin from Relax and Learn Guitar. We're back for another live Q&A tonight for Relax and Learn Guitar. Through working with folks in the membership and online with people, I found that folks who are learning how to play guitar, often they'll struggle, they get frustrated and they'll quit, which is a real shame. In my online guitar membership, guitar lesson membership, I help people learn how to relax and learn guitar so they can stop struggling and start playing their favorite songs. Cool, looks like there's some folks showing up here. Got a couple of two people showing. Lou is here. What is up, Lou? Uh-oh, just refresh. So, hey, Lou, thanks for tuning in. He's a member of the Relax and Learn Guitar membership. And I'm not seeing their comments right now, so hopefully that kicks in. All right. So again, it's a real shame when folks get frustrated and quit playing the guitar because I think it's just one of the best ways to relax, obviously, and just one of the best hobbies to have. There's so many good things that playing the guitar does for you. So I've been taking questions from members. I prioritize those. Then I use those for these live Q&As. So if you have any other questions, just pop those in the comments and we'll get to them. But tonight's lesson was a question from Bob in the membership. And he had asked a great question. It's a topic they will definitely not get through all of. But I'm going to spend a good part of this lesson on his question about learning the caged system. So I'm going to pop up the little whiteboard here. And I wondered about this when I put the description out. So if you haven't been playing guitar long, or if you haven't kind of looked into music theory, you may not even know what this means. So you could either be curious or you do know, have heard about it and you want to learn more about it. So my goal tonight is to kind of break this down into smaller chunks because I found that there's usually a lot of questions when it comes to music theory. So super technology oriented here tonight with our whiteboard. Caged is what we're going to be working on, and it is basically in the most basic sense to explain this to folks. I tell them that it's having to do with shapes and it's a system. So when it comes to these chords, which is kind of an acronym. Acronyms, you have an abbreviation for a word. These letters stand for chords. So C for C chord, A for A chord, G for G chord, E for E chord, D for D chord. Those are the open chords. So if you don't know those chords, I do have like very detailed step-by-step lessons in the membership to teach those. But if you don't know them for tonight, that's okay. We're just going to talk about them anyway, so you can kind of get the concept. So with the cage system, the first one being a C, there is a way to then move those shapes. So it has nothing to do with keys. I get questions about that sometimes. You know, what's the cage system and how do I use that to change keys? It's not really anything to do with keys. It's all to do with shapes, and we're used to calling these chords, but if you move them around the neck, you can use them as shapes to play more chords, which is kind of the whole point. So, first thing I want you to do is play a C chord, an open C chord. Cool, we got some more people coming in. If you're coming in just now, it's okay, you can always catch the replay, but we're really just getting started. And that's a C chord here in the open position. Now, the next letter or shape in this system is an A. So you can play an A chord here, obviously. But if you play that A chord up here on the 5th fret, you also get the C chord. So you're using the A shape to play a C chord. The other thing with the cage system is these shapes are usually being played in front of a bar. So you can imagine your index finger as a capo, and when you're playing that A shape, I'm going to bar at all of it. So it's a 5th string root A shape. Listen to make sure it's right. So you can play a C here, you can play a C here. This is a C with a C open shape. This is a C with an A shape. Okay? Because of this. The next is the G. If you play the G way up here on the 7th fret. Skip's here. What's up, Skip? Thanks for tuning in. So the G shape is funky because you're never really going to probably play a C chord this way. But if you take your G shape, your G is down here, move it all the way up here, and starting it with that 5th string on the 7th fret, you have the G shape, and if you bar it here on the 5th fret, that's why I'm saying it's not practical, but I want to show it to you anyway to get the concept. And it's even a stretch for me. It's also a C chord. It's just using a G shape for that C chord. So, and this always goes in order, which is the cool part about it. It's always C, A, G, E, D. So for the C's, it's easy to go in order. We're going to also do the A's, which go in the order of A, G, E, D, C. So it just kind of loops back around. So far we have that open C, the A shape that also plays a C chord, the G shape that also plays a C chord, and then the next in the sequence is E. You play this E shape up here on the 8th fret, so you have it right here. That's also a C chord. So, and if you know your bar chords, this E-shaped bar chord is a 6th string root. So that's going to tell you that the C root note is here on that 8th fret. So you have C here, and now you have a C here. You have a C here, you can also play it here. Hey, what's up, Skip? Tony? No? The tone of the note? Oh, so the with a C chord, you have, with all chords, you have a triad where those are built. So every chord is built on a triad. So in the C world, you have the C and G's. So basically, if you really dig into this, which we'll not get into detail tonight, you can really tell the triad notes being played in all these different positions. So you have kind of the tone here. It might be a little higher here, but it's still a C. Okay, and that's an E shape. So it's really cool when you start looking at it. And what it does allow you to do, it allows you to be able to play these chords all over your neck, and then you start seeing how they're kind of connected together. So C here, C with A shape here, C with the G shape, which you'll probably never really do, here, and then this one you would. So the next one in the series or the system is the D shape. So if you have a C here, and you play the D shape, D shape usually looks like this down here. You can play that D shape all the way up here on the 12th fret. And you get the highest, even another octave. So you have a C here, and a C here. Probably is much higher. If you wanted to, let's see, you'd reach back here onto the 4th string 10th fret. So that's another C. And play it that way too. So you have that. For your C. So I'm hoping this makes sense. Leave a comment or a thumbs up if what I'm talking about with these shapes to play chords is making sense to you or not. So that's why I've kind of said focus on the shapes. People get hung up on the notes, on the key, It's not all about that. When it comes to this system, it's using these shapes of these open chords or cowboy chords. And I get a kick out of folks because playing the guitar doesn't have to be all about really intricate work and really complicated. I always tell my members, if it sounds good, it is good. So with these open chords, it's amazing what you can learn and what you can do by learning your open chords. And these should be the first chords you learn, you know. And now that you've got those shapes down, once you've learned those, the guitar is all very, in my opinion, incremental. If you learn something really well and then you build on what you've learned. So now you have these open chords and you can move them around the neck to play more chords. So it works the same way with the A. So let's use that as just an example, just so you have an idea. We won't go through all of them. For the members, I will put this lesson in the replay in the membership, and I'll include a PDF that you can look at that has these kind of drawn out for you, because that might help visually too. So seeing it and playing it is usually how you learn best. So the other thing with the system is with the A, we're going to start here with the A, go to the right obviously, and then we're going to use the shapes A, G, E, D, and C, all to play A chords. So hopefully it's making sense. So you know you have an A here. That's an A shape. So the next thing in the system is a G. So with the A, you can play a G shape, obviously, is your usual G is here. You move that G up to the 4th fret, and you actually bar here on the 2nd fret. You know, it's a huge stretch. Another one, these G shapes aren't really practical in the playing sense, but they're good so you can actually see, you know, what the lesson means. So this G shape is also an A chord. Just not going to be the most practical one. The most practical one you'll play, because you go from A to G to E, is this E shape. So here's an E. Move that E shape way up here to the 6th fret, and you're going to bar that 5th fret. That's the one you'll see the most, because again, that is a bar chord. It's a 6-string root bar chord. That's an E shape. So you have this A. I'll play it that way so people can see it. This A. Go up here and use the E shape by the 5th fret. Same chord. Okay? And again, it's bar chords, which that's a whole nother, that's probably a whole nother lesson. So I had some members that have recently conquered the bar chord, especially the F bar chord, and that opens up a whole nother realm of possibilities for you. So you have the A, then you have the G, that was the E shape, then you have the D shape. You play this D shape up here on the 9th fret. That's just your regular D shape. It's an A chord, it's a higher, it's an octave up, but it's an A. And you can do the same thing there if you want to reach back, play that D, leaving your index finger so you could have your middle finger on the 9th fret, 3rd string, your pinky on the 2nd string, 10th fret, your ring finger on the 9th fret of the 1st string. That allows you to reach back here with your index finger to the 7th fret of that 4th string. That's an A. You can get a little fuller sound. So this D shape is making this A chord. Okay? And then the last one, so we've gone from A to G to E to D. The last one in that series for this example would be a C. And if you play the C up here on the 10th fret, you get an A all the way up here on the 10th fret. You can also kind of bar it there. Let's see what would be the easiest way. That's a little bit of a reach too. There we go. If you bar that 9th fret, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string, and then play a C shape in front of it, you get this kind kind of going on. And again, not that you need to like go back and memorize how to play all these different chords. The goal of this live Q&A was to at least explain the concept of the cage system to you. So, you know, what's the point? Why learn this? Why talk about it? Why is it important? It does a couple things for you. It helps you understand that when you're playing bar chords, for example, that they're movable. Once you learn a bar chord shape, you just move that shape around to play a different chord. It's the same concept. Move that C shape, that A shape around, or this A shape, and this E shape around, and you can play the different chords. It also allows you to play the chords not always down here. You might be playing a song and using chords up here. And you might need to play a C. You don't want to be down here, you know, in this area, and being like, oh, I gotta get to a C next, all the way down here. You just play that C up here. So it allows you to move your chords around, allows you to play multiple different chords with different shapes all over the neck, and it starts to build your music theory on how things are connected with the different notes and chords. Also shows you how important the shapes you're learning are when it comes to these open chords. And the guitar is all about shapes, even with chords and especially with like scales. Scales don't have to be so intimidating. It's not learning exactly how they go. It's learning the shape of that scale and applying it to your fretboard. So I hope that makes sense. I haven't got any thumbs up or comments, so I'm hoping it makes sense. Otherwise, if it's not, just ask me a question. So that's the caged system. I'm not going to go through all the rest of them. We're like at almost 20 after. So we kind of went through the C's and the A's just to show you how that all fits together. And again, for the members, I'll put this in the membership and the replay part of the forum with a PDF that shows all the different shapes all the way through, so you got a visual for it. Okay. The other question I had from folks was about F chords, and it was a common question about how do I know which F chord to play, was the specific question. I can't remember who, it was Don who had asked that. Might have been Steve. But for the F chord, you have to kind of make a decision about which F chord you're going to play. I always tell people to shoot for the ultimate goal is to be able to play that F chord as a full bar chord. And it also kind of fits into this lesson pretty well, because if you look at this is the F bar chord, right? Way back here on the first fret. So what shape is the F bar chord using? Take off your index finger, it's the E shape. So in the cage system, we learned how shapes move around. So if you take this E shape, which usually gets played here, right? You move it up to here with your bar chord, then you get the F chord. So in answering the question about how do I know what F chord to play, it really comes down to your abilities, like how long you've been playing guitar, what level you're playing at, because you can play an F chord without the bar. You're just going to, fret it differently. So you put your index finger here on the second string first fret, your middle finger on the third string second fret, your ring finger on the fifth string third fret, your pinky finger on the fourth string third fret. Just don't play the sixth string or the first string. Play those middle strings. 5, 4, 3, and 2. That's an F chord. Okay? And you're not using a bar. I would probably play that when I'm first starting out playing guitar. It's a little daunting because you're using all 4 fingers to play the chord. And you have to kind of be careful not to hit that. See, gives you that kind of minor sound. But it's perfect for when you're first starting out as a beginner to play just that middle part of that chord. The next one you want to maybe graduate up to is you could bar just the first and second string. So same chord, but bar the first string with your index finger, and then you can play it. It doesn't have that. See the difference of this and this? And that's an F chord. I would do that if I'm kind of maybe a little bit above beginner, but not quite to playing all my bar chords yet. And it's a matter of, with any of these, it's a matter of getting good at changing those chords smoothly. It's being able to practice moving from one chord to a next. And then when would I play the F bar, the monster all the way bar across? My answer, I tend to go to that chord just because it's such a difference. I mean, even if you're playing it with that bar on that first and second string, it doesn't sound bad. It still sounds good. But when you add in that sixth string, I just like that bass rich sound. So I always tell people the ultimate goal is to get to the point where you can play that F chord barred all the way with that index finger, so you can get that low bass tone in there. And you're really going to use that, I mean, if you're playing other bar chords, it's much easier to do that actually than it is to go. Okay? And you got to think about it so much more. If you're just using the bar chord, all you got to worry about is it just becomes instinctual, and that E shape fits right in there. If you're not using the bar, you got to remember to. And I've seen guys that just play the F chord that way, you know, all the time. They've never really ever played as a bar, and that's fine. I just prefer that full-on bar chord shape to get that low bass tone. Okay. What are we at? 7:23. If you have any other questions, pop them in here. Those were the two that I was covering tonight's Q&A, the cage system and that F question. The other thing with that F chord is once you learn the monster F chord, it's a shape you can move around your neck, and now you can play 12 chords. So once you got that F, move it up, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B, or A, B sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. It's just a shape you move around. It becomes much more, less intimidating, I should say, to play the chords. So, any other questions, pop those in here. We're about 7:25-ish. As always, if you have not signed up on the website for the free lessons to help you relax and learn guitar, and to get notifications for these live workshops, do that. And to get even more support, maybe you want to just kind of skip over that piece and jump right into more one-on-one support, access to all the lessons that I have, all the PDFs, the ebooks. I do get back to members. I do prioritize questions and respond to people's questions. Then you definitely want to check out the membership as well and see what that has to offer. And that, I'll put a link in the description of this Q&A so you can click on either one of those to get to those spots. And that's all I have. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm going to sign off here in a bit. Thanks for coming on tonight and checking things out, and hopefully that helps. For you members out there that are watching, if you watch the replay or you're in the membership checking stuff out and you have a question about it, just leave me a question there. You can email me, or you can also get a hold of me in our private Facebook group, and I will answer your questions there as well. All right? I will see you guys later, and thanks for watching. You're welcome, Bill.